deciding who's going to be marking whom, and right now they've switched around again. And Dickie Murphy from County Wexford takes charge of this match with Pat Horn and Pat Ahern. Pat Horn from Offaly, Pat Ahern from Carlow, and John Lahey and Brian O'Mara have indeed switched positions. It's Lahey now who's top of the left at the start of the match. The semi-final of the Guinness Munster Hurling Championship, and straight away it's Liam Cahill sending it in there, and Fitzgerald hesitated momentarily. Still the pressure on the Clare back line, and the end, that ball has gone harmlessly wide. That's Brian Quinn there, who is playing today in what is his 8th championship match. The Clare supporters are up there on the far side of the pitch here. That's the city end, as Clare play from left to right for the first half. And straight away Colin Lynch needs a replacement stick in midfield. He is marking Conor Gleeson. That's Alan Markham over there trying to get some movement into that ball, stopped however by Tommy Dunn. Up towards Liam Cahill it comes. Cross beyond Liam Doyle, waiting for Brian Quinn to come out for it. Playing at cornerback, remember, in a switch with Enda Flannery. Flannery at midfield. Liam Sheehy down there, and contesting furiously with David Ford, who switched across. Out towards Colin Lynch once more. Good shoulder, and he steps out over the line. And we've got some team news concerning the Clare side. Let's go down to the sideline and to Kieran Mullooly.
The Clare Championship campaign is underway, all right, Ger, because David Ford is playing right corner forward instead of left half forward. Alan Markham has moved out into David Ford's position, and Barry Murphy will play at left corner forward.
Yes, all kinds of change of positions. No score so far. And it'll be a sideline ball for Clare. Colin Lynch about to take this one. Colin will be just delighted to have put behind him all the hype of last year. Playing today in his 9th championship match. Inside towards Enda Flannery. Playing in his very first. Touchdown there by Barry Murphy. This is the team captain Anthony Daly trying to come onto it, but stopped by the other team captain Tommy Dunn. They're trying to give fast low ball in towards Shelley. Good support play there by Sean McMahon. Now it comes towards Liam Doyle, running into a whole gathering of Tipperary half forwards. Great ball downfield. Played back that time by Donnacha Fahy, needing the assistance of Liam Sheedy over there. Not a good ball out. Poor clearance. Still some pressure on here. Again, good work once more by Liam Sheedy. Out to Donnacha Fahy. About 50 metres out from the Clare goal, batted down by Frank Lohan. This is Anthony Daly. Slipping that one in there. Conal Bonner needing a bit of assistance getting it. Out towards Conor Gleeson, who was team captain when the teams played in the All-Ireland final, of course, 2 years ago. Again, it's Frank Lohan. Dancing away from the would-be tackles. Liam Doyle. Hit it over the head of Eamon Corcoran there. This is David Ford. Looking for the first score of the match, David Ford. A huge one in, and it sails over the bar. David Ford from Magurlow in County Clare. A really good start for him, playing in his 12th championship match. Liam Doyle on his left-hand side. Corcoran contesting there with James O'Connor. Good work here by Eddie Enright. That's broken down here by Brian O'Mara. Brian now switched on to the 40. Huge one in towards Shelley. Brian Lohan there as well. Shelley gets the stick to it. Dave Fitzgerald goes down. And a stalemate situation which will probably end with the referee throwing the ball in on the 20-metre line. First time I've seen Brian Lohan play a major championship match without that familiar red helmet on his head. So Lohan moved back. Shelley there beside him for company. And it'll be Declan Ryan here. Sean McMahon waiting for it as well. Should be quite a contest. Dickie Murphy in no particular hurry, wanting the players just to settle down a little bit. Sound refereeing. Finally away by Frank Lowe, not too far. Tommy Dunn gets it back in, and he's put it over the bar. The team captain getting Tipperary's first point. So the match level in these early stages. Not a particularly long clearance that time from Frank Lowe and from the throw-in ball by the referee. Batted down there by David Kennedy, one of those emerging young players. O'Mara now, two players converging towards him. McMahon unable to beat him for pace. It's still O'Mara, and then a very good challenge by Frank Lowen, and it's gone for the game's first 65. Frank Lowen is incensed, however. This was the run by O'Mara. Might have had a chance for a score a little earlier. Up to solo forward once again. Players were coming in on him, and did somebody make contact? Frank Lowen was adamant that it wasn't him. Frank has made a prominent start to this match. So a 65, and Tommy Dunn about to take it. Remember, he is playing this one into the breeze. This to give Tipperary the lead for the first time in the game. That's deadly accurate. So a second point by Tommy Dunn, and it's Tipperary 2, Clare 1. But only 6 minutes gone. Referee just removing a couple of broken hurleys from the field. Ger Loughnane looking on as David Fitzgerald about to take the puck out for Clare. Broken down by Conor Gleeson. That's one by Sean McMahon. Again, it's Tommy Dunn, who's had a good start to this match. Jamesy O'Connor protesting. Free to tip. Conor Gleeson about to hit this one inside his own 65-metre line. Dropped in towards Shelley, running all the way through there and stopped by David Fitzgerald. Good clearance by Fitzgerald. David Kennedy coming out first time, tends to start matches pretty slowly. Not a great clearance, only as far as Liam Doyle. Kennedy going back, and it's dropped down there by Conal Bonner. Niall Gilligan was trying to pick that one up. It's Eddie Enright trying to get the ball away. Ferocious stuff at times. Out towards Colin Lynch. Nice turn by Lynch. Towards Barry Murphy's corner. Jamesy O'Connor waiting there as well. Corcoran has followed him across over there. That's Fergal Heaney. He's put under immense pressure. The clearance in the end comes out there beautifully as far as Liam Cahill. Clare get it back. That's driven high, and that's driven over the bar. Sean McMahon, first point of the game. And the puck out is taken immediately as it's 2 points apiece. And it's going to be a free for a foul there. And Liam Doyle thinking about taking it, but in the end leaving it for Sean McMahon, who's just got that equalising score. Well, Liam Doyle has been one of those unsung heroes over the years for Clare. Today playing his 23rd championship match. It's Sean McMahon's 18th. Well, this free is still inside his own 65-metre line. Heading towards Niall Gilligan. Got to stick to it. David Ford trying to race over. Sheehy is there. Plenty of pressure coming in, however. That was by Stephen McNamara, and that in the end has gone out over the end line. And it's gone for a 65. So a second 65 of the match, one apiece at this stage. Lots of pressure there from the likes of Barry Murphy and Stephen McNamara, and finally going off a Tipperary stick. Off the stick of Donica Fahy. Sean McMahon again about to take this one. The referee's in down at the Black Rock end because there was some attention being given to a Tipperary back. He's okay. Here's McMahon, ready to lash it, but putting it to the left this time. And so it stays at 2 points apiece. And that's the first wide of the match for Clare. Well, he's usually good for 3 or 4 points from considerable distances out. Brendan Cummins taking this puck out. It's won by Frank Lowen. A hefty challenge on Frank Lowen. Spills down here towards Enda Flannery. Still trying to get more into the match. Nice ball out there towards Colin Lynch, expecting a challenge. None came, and he knocks it over the bar. And Lynch, the first man to go across and say thanks to Enda Flannery. Colin Lynch from Lizzie Casey has made it 3 points to 2. And both Clare midfield players out of picture, trying to urge one another on a little bit, as there's a break in play because of an injury to Conor Gleeson. And Colin wants to take the opportunity of taking a little bit of liquid on board. Well, a facial injury for the young Garda, Conor Gleeson, from Boherlahan-Dualla. Well, he was captain, as I mentioned, in '97 by virtue of Dualla's county final win in 1996. As Tipperary advance, but are stopped over there. Lots of pressure coming from all of the Tip players. Back again towards Tommy Dunn. Shelley was racing after. David Fitzgerald has had a very good start to the match. 2 very impressive saves. Corcoran trying to bat it away. Jamesy O'Connor trying to knock it in. Again, it's picked up here by Barry Murphy, going for the score himself, and he's put it over the bar. A real rallying score that by Barry Murphy, who stepped back into the right quarter forward position. 4 points to 2 then. Well, the Tip backs were converging, but a little bit of cleverness here by Barry Murphy, taking himself out of danger, finding enough space at the other end. John Lahey hitting his shot, and that has gone over the bar. Good score by John Lahey. Lahey still operating at top of the left, making it 4 points to 3. Well, coming into the 90s, I suppose the name many people associate with Clare goalkeepers would have been Seamus Durack. 10 years on, it's very much David Fitzgerald. Enda Flannery going up to collect this one, taking it down, looking very commanding in towards Stephen McNamara. Spills loose, however, towards Liam Sheedy. In beyond Liam Doyle. Winning the race is John Lahey, getting there ahead of Brian Quinn. Diagonal ball inside towards Liam Cahill, 45 metres out, and a wonderful shot, and that's over the bar. And the sides now level for the 3rd time in this game. It's Clare 4, Tipperary 4, and there's great pace to the match. Well, Tipperary's tactic has been to puck the ball out as fast as possible. David Fitzgerald is tending to slow it down a little bit. Coming in towards Eddie Enright this time. There against Colin Lynch, now Niall Gilligan. And David Kennedy sticking to his task brilliantly. Still Kennedy does well. Roared on by the fans of the Premier County. But not the best of shots after all of that, but he did enough to deny Niall Gilligan getting easy possession. Well, how will he feel about the opening 13.5 minutes of this match? And again, Conor Gleeson requires attention. And once again, the head having to get a little bandage just there above the eye. Probably require a stitch maybe at half-time. Dickie Murphy deciding to hold up the match just for a moment. Well, Nicky English has done such a fine job with Tipperary, winning the league, of course. But their #1 target is very much the championship. Trying to deny Clare as Enda Flannery once again wins this ball. Inside there towards Stephen McNamara. Out towards Jamesy O'Connor. He was quick that time, he was fouled as well. A look at the referee there by Eddie Enright, the Thurles Sarsfield's man. But Dickie was right on the spot. So it's going to be a free in, which should once again restore Clare's lead. Jamesy O'Connor about to take it. Looking for his first point of the afternoon. Making it look very comfortable indeed. And that's now 106 points he's scored in all of his championship career. Brendan Cummins. Huge one in, and that against the breeze seemingly, but it is swirling somewhat. Anthony Daly put under pressure, and Daly, did he take too many steps with it? The referee is in very quickly. Daly's gone across to left half back, and the referee is speaking with John Lahey, and it's going to be a free the other way, a free to Clare instead. Paul Shelley quizzes the decision as well. Well, Daly wasn't standing on nonsense that time. He just got straight away from the incident and way over to mark Tommy Doyle at left half back. Paul Shelley, who's impressed plenty of people. But what about the wounded man at midfield, Conor Gleeson? David Fitzgerald hitting the free, getting it way down there towards Alan Markham. Comes out to David Kennedy once again. Under pressure, manages to do just enough and get it away. Kept in there somehow, but the linesman on the far side, who was Peadar Hearn from Carlow, signals that it's going to be a line ball to Tipperary. Eddie Enright saying that he would care to take it, and Conal Bonner steps away. Hit quickly. Still they try to get clean possession. Tommy Dunn up towards Paul Shelley. It was Frank Lohan who was tripped, and it's going to be, I think, a free downfield. Unless there was a leg reaching out that time. Brian Lohan requires a replacement. Hurley. Well, I suppose many people have the view that Paul Shelley is first and foremost a very fine defender, but they had a problem area at full forward, Tipperary, and he's been more than willing to go in there and try and do his best, even if he can negate the influence of Brian Lohan and stop him coming out with the ball and making those mighty clearances that can lift all the supporters here. They get it in as far as Niall Gilligan. Closed down satisfactorily, however, by the tip half-backs. This is in towards John Lahey. Quinn standing back somewhat, managing to get it onto the stick. Well, he had it in his hand twice, so he flicks it downfield, down towards Stephen McNamara, and there's a trip over there. It's on Conal Bonner. Just a little bit of jostling. But Conal Bonner is interesting. He's come back into this half-back line and reclaimed a position there, and gives the Tipperary defence a bit of experience along with Liam Sheedy. Good free. Quinn breaks it down this time, and Frank Lohan again was anticipating. He started very well. Shelley getting it up onto the stick once more, confronted by Brian Lohan, and once again it's Shelley, but once again he's stopped, this time by Liam Dunn, or Liam Doyle I should say. The second time of asking, it goes over the bar from the stick of Eddie Enright. Well, strong pressure play there from Tipperary, involving Paul Shelley and also involving the midfielder Eddie Enright, and it's 5 points apiece once again, and the teams level on 4 occasions. This was that challenge there by Brian Lohan, but he brushed him aside. It came back. It was Doyle who got it away brilliantly. Conal Bonner, and David Kennedy goes across. A very impressive performance by David Kennedy. Out towards Eddie Enright, challenged by Jamesy O'Connor. Jamesy with just 1 point so far, and that from a free. Brian Lohan lets it run on. Lahey coming after it, won't come up for him. Brian O'Mara instead, and O'Mara taps it, but he's put it to the left. Well, just indications there that the pitch may not be absolutely 100% just yet, because that first touch let the incoming forward down somewhat. So once more, Davy Fitzgerald. Conor Gleeson goes high on towards Tommy Dunn. This is Enda Flannery mopping it up at midfield, aware that he was about to be hooked, but he still can't manage to find the target. Perhaps put off a little bit there by the presence of Declan Ryan just immediately behind him. Comes out towards Liam Cahill this time, and two Clare players just look and wonder where he was. That's where he was, and that's what he did. A second point by Liam Cahill, former All-Star from Ballingarry, and he makes it 6 points to 5. The Munster champions trailing, and the lead has changed hands some 4 times so far in this match, and still 15 minutes to go to half-time. Runs on in there towards David Ford. It's Stephen McNamara, in fact, and McNamara has struck him to the left. And let's go down to the sideline once again. Some more news from Kieran Mullooly.
Derek Nunn is clearly not happy with his half-forward line. He's now put James O'Connor on the 40, and he's been pleading for them to get more possession there, and they're not doing so good so far.
Yeah, they're switching positions the whole time, and it's just difficult on occasions to keep tabs on just where everybody's playing. Referee going to throw this ball in. The other player's not back the requisite distance, but it's won by Liam Doyle. And Gilligan deemed to have fouled Eamon Corcoran. Eamon Corcoran, who won an under-21B championship medal last year with J.K. Brackens, a Fitzgibbon Cup player. In fact, he was player of the tournament recently. And a bit of aggro going on inside there. Liam Cahill, the player, was picking himself off the ground rather gingerly. And the referee has the aid of his umpires and also his linesman. Frank Lowen may be the player who was involved there with Liam Cahill. Well, did the umpire get a clear view of what happened? And what will the referee's reaction be? He's calling across, I think it is Frank Lowen, indeed it is. And Liam Cahill also called. Looks to have the notebook out here. Well, they've been having a quite furious battle from time to time. Not too sure if it was just a case of recording the fouls and just taking the numbers. Didn't appear to be any yellow card. In towards John Lahey once more, runs loose. Brian Lowen's in there to try and mind the house somewhat. Liam Doyle once again can't take it up this time. Instead it's Brian Quinn, and it falls to Anthony Daly in the end. Alan Markham racing from corner forward. Inside towards Niall Gilligan. James O'Connor was trying to take it in his stride. Gilligan holds it up there. Now the hand pass outside towards Markham. Moving in from the corner, striking it, that angle shot sailing over the bar. Alan Markham from Kilmaley. Point number 1 for the day for him. And so the score now 6 points apiece. Well, as close a match as everybody expected. Sean McMahon drops it down. Enda Flannery coming in. Well, in the end, throwing it back, not a proper hand pass to Liam Doyle. Perhaps a little bit of inexperience at this level, but a foul nonetheless. And Dickie Murphy was only a matter of 10 metres or so away from him when it happened. So a chance for Tip to go back in front once more. Tommy Dunn has got 2 points, the first 2 points for Tipperary in the match. 1 from play, 1 from a 65. And this is about 50 metres out, in a very central position. And he makes no mistake. So 7-6, Tip lead. So the signal given to Davy Fitzgerald to take the puck out. A low trajectory this time into the centre. Brian O'Mara, the left half forward, trying to get it by Liam Doyle. That's not been easy at any stage during this match. Brian Quinn coming out, does really well. Beats the would-be block there by Eddie Enright towards James O'Connor. Niall Gilligan next. And this is Barry Murphy scampering away there from Liam Sheedy. Murphy, and hooked. Good work by the cornerback. And a pile up, and the referee again will probably throw the ball in. And the ball was picked off the ground, in fact, and it's going to be a free downfield. So free to Tipperary. Just that good run by Barry Murphy effectively came to nothing. Cummins once again the free taker. Breaks down there, Sean McMahon. So far we haven't seen a great deal from Declan Ryan. Colin Lynch, he's tripped, dragged back. They play away, but it's going to be a free for Clare. Smiling Dickie Murphy there, one of the most experienced in the game. So Sean McMahon, somewhat bloodied, about to take this free for Clare. The spectators getting the best possible view. Well, he'll need a wash down at half-time. Clare, who loves to take the match by the scruff of the neck and impose his will on the game. Great free taker as well. Dropped all the way in. Brendan Cummins saw it, read it really well. Out towards Tommy Dunn. Daly was coming from behind him. Conor Gleeson there at midfield, stopped by Jamesy O'Connor. James is still trying to get back goal side, won by Gleeson. Up towards Shelley once again. Brian Lohan going across. He fumbles it. Shelley has it. Trying to get inside Lohan. Still Shelley. Still Shelley. And in the end across towards Brian Quinn, trying to link up with John Lahey. Quinn nipped in. Huge clearance downfield. Jamesy O'Connor breaks it, and Jamesy's been knocked on the back of the head there, I think accidentally, by David Kennedy. Clare get it back. Colin Lynch. Lynch from 65 metres out. Again dropping it in, but dropping it just to the right. Well, that's Jamesy O'Connor. He was rising up for that last ball there, I think, with David Kennedy. And this is the end result. Dr. Pádraig Quinn is in there quickly. Scorer of a point in the match so far, Jamesy. Unquestionably one of the finest forward talents ever produced by the Banner County. Well, he's back on his feet. Both managers took the opportunity to get in for just a moment. In Ger Loughnane's case, just to check on the health of Jamesy. So inside the final 10 minutes of the first half, where it's been fast and furious. The lead changing hands so many times. Enright getting it in towards Cahill. Nice first touch this time. Laying it offside towards Declan Ryan. He can hit it with the left, he can hit it with the right. This time he drops it short, however. And Davy Fitzgerald is challenged by Paul Shelley. And the referee says, free, Paul. For what, says Paul Shelley. Well, the referee says for committing the foul. So this most pleasant setting here at Porky Queeve, when the big crowd is in here, when the match is fast and furious, there's a wonderful atmosphere always. Tommy Dunn trying to pick it up off the ground. Colin Lynch there as well. Declan Ryan coming in to help. That was David Kennedy getting it out. As far as Anthony Daly of Clare, the left half back. And wonderful calmness and assurance by Brendan Cummins. Another scoring chance for Clare. This is Quinn once again, trying to deny Brian O'Mara. Conor Lynch coming back to help. He was clattered by Brian O'Mara. Free to Conor Lynch's team. So once again it's going to be Sean McMahon to take the free, and that the result of an earlier injury. A switch in the Tipperary forward line. John Lahey has now gone to top of the left, or rather back to left half forward I should say, and Brian O'Mara has been switched in to top of the left. Nice ball in, laid off there towards Gilligan, stopped, comes out again to Jamesy O'Connor, and this time Jamesy fires it over the crossbar. It's the second point for Jamesy O'Connor, and the teams are level, still feeling his head somewhat. This was that ball which was broken back there. They were on their knees scrambling for it. David Kennedy couldn't get it out, but when the loose ball reached Jamesy O'Connor, well, that was enough. The teams have been level on 6 occasions. A dramatic Guinness Munster Championship match at Porky Queeve. The clearance by Daly, down towards Barry Murphy, breaks loose however in the end to Alan Markham, and they're already waving it wide. The goalkeeper assisting the 2 umpires to make up their minds, and that's a 5th wide now by Clare. It's Markham now at left half forward. Barry Murphy is top of the left. David Ford has switched into top of the right. Lots of switches and changes. Meanwhile, Eddie Enright, Brian Quinn playing very tidily at top of the left, atop of the right corner back. Brian Lowen broken down by Conor Gleeson. Gilligan's in there as well. John Lahey tries to go in and fish it out of that little area. David Kennedy trying to help it forward. In the end, it is Enda Flannery. The hand pass to Colin Lynch, where he was going to be shouldered, and the second time, the indestructible Colin Lynch lays it off beautifully outside here. David Ford with the chance, and it's gone wide. Well, the Clare mentors won't be too happy about that miss there by David Ford. And then after all the hard work by Colin Lynch, again Tipperary taking the opportunities to take the puck out as fast as possible, trying to put the pressure on the Clare backs, not allow them time and opportunities to get back into positions such as they would wish. Tommy Dunn trying to apply pressure. Ford's across there. It's still Tipperary, and it was still Tommy Dunn who was being pulled and dragged. Brian Lowen and Anthony Daly aware that they're being put under intense pressure because of the Tipperary tactics this afternoon. Sun in the eyes of the fans on that far side. A free on the 20-metre line, and Tommy Dunn himself about to take it. 3 points so far in the match for Dunn. And this is where the Tipperary captain can restore their lead. And all of that with about 4 minutes to go to half-time. Another good shot and another fine point. Tip lead then in the semi-final of the Munster Championship. That's out towards Declan Ryan. Again, they come onto it fast here. Eddie Enright. Beyond Sean McMahon. Inside here towards O'Mara. Shortens the grip on the stick, and this time I think it'll be the turn of the Tipperary mentors to feel a bit unhappy. And Brian O'Mara looking at the referee, and if you can read his words, you'll be well aware that he's displeased with the decision, felt he was fouled and should have had a free in. 4 wides then for Tipperary. Runs on towards David Kennedy. Out towards Colin Bonner. Back it comes once again to the other half-back member, Eamon Corcoran. Towards Liam Cahill. 2 points in the match so far. Playing against Frank Lowen. Dropping it in delightfully, but into the arms of David Fitzgerald. It was from a long distance out that Cahill was hitting that one. Towards Gilligan this time, batted down by Corcoran. Comes out to Colin Lynch, trying to set up the chance. Barry Murphy trying to grab it. McNamara coming into it. And again, some good work by the full-back down there. Aided and abetted by Donnacha Fahy. And it's going to be a free out for holding. So it's going to be a free for Tipperary, and Brendan Cummins about to hit it. Brendan from the Ballybacon Grange club. And Gerlach Nan is on the pitch and he wants to make a switch. And the referee is saying to him, "Come on, Ger, off you go." It'll still be a free to Tipperary. But he's trying to make switches, and Niall Gilligan have seen move position. And I've noticed that David Ford has now gone to centre half forward, where David Kennedy had been exerting quite an influence. It's broken down here. Sean McMahon. towards David Ford now. His first contest there against David Kennedy. Jamesy O'Connor, right half forward. Inside, McNamara's looking at it, but so too is the goalkeeper. Good anticipation by Brendan Cummins. So inside the last 15 seconds of actual playing time, Declan Ryan sending a diagonal ball towards Liam Cahill, but he couldn't get there. He's doing a little tripping instead. Frank Lowen had followed him across. Very annoyed with the decision by referee Dickie Murphy. But Dickie has handled it really well. Well, in terms of scoring chances as we head into injury time, Clare have already created 18 scoring chances, 16 for Tipperary, and as you can see, it's 8 points to 7. Tip with this very narrow lead. It's dropped in this time towards Niall Gilligan. Gilligan takes it down, blocked by David Kennedy. Conor Bonner is there as well. Tip defending valiantly and resolutely, and the referee going in. Will be up to throw the ball in to end the stalemate there. Conor Gleeson being told out you go, and David Kennedy will contest here, and the referee says, but that's the end of the first half. It's been fast and it's been furious, and little to choose between the teams. Both sides have missed a few fairly scoreable opportunities, but it's the heat of battle, and Tommy Dunn has contributed 4 points for Tipperary. They've got a very slight lead going in here at the break in Páirc Uí Chaoimh in the Guinness semi-final in the Munster Championship. The half-time scoreline reads Tipperary 8 points, Clare 7 points. About to get the second half of the Guinness Munster Hurling Championship semi-final underway. No indication of any changes from either team. Back towards Tommy Dunn, this one comes. And another big one stopped by Davy Fitzgerald. Back beautifully caught there by Eddie Enright in midfield. Tip who looked the sharper side in the first half. Tommy Dunn once again. Colin Lynch chases after him, opting to kick the ball in, stopped by Frank Lowen. And Lowen turns around there, and Paul Shelley seems to be feeling his right leg. Referee's gone in to have a word with both Brian Lowen and Paul Shelley. And I think that there will be concern on the Clare bench that Brian Lowen and Sean McMahon aren't their usual absolutely dominant selves, and without scoring in the match so far, Declan Ryan and Paul Shelley have probably done enough to negate their influence. It's going to be a throw ball, some 45 metres out from the Clare goal. Declan Ryan in there to contest. Tommy Dunn overhead inside, beyond Paul Shelley, beyond Brian Lowen as well. Lowen trying to take it away from that danger area in front of Davy Fitzgerald. In came Liam Cahill, but the referee said it wasn't a shoulder onto the other shoulder, more a shoulder into the back of Brian Lowen. So free for Clare. Fans lift the decibel level once again. If you've joined us late, we estimate about 40, perhaps 43,000 people are here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh in the sunshine, but with a swirling breeze that really does favour Tipperary, if anything, for the second half. It's tending to blow down towards the Blackrock end of the ground. Declan Ryan beyond Frank Lowen, in towards Paul Shelley. Shelley trying to pick that ball up, Brian Lowen right behind them the whole time. Instead it runs loose to Frank Lowen. Remember, it is a Clare team without the considerable influence of Ollie Baker, out through injury. Up here towards Niall Gilligan, this one comes. Clare did an awful lot of switching of their forward line in the first half, and at times it was hard enough to see them developing a pattern. Players weren't allowed in positions for too long. Throw ball taken. Missed there by David Kennedy in a very, very good first half. Jamesy O'Connor hitting this one on towards Alan Markham. On even further there towards Barry Murphy. Expecting the challenge to come across there from Fergal Heaney, but the referee has whistled back for the foul there by the fullback. And the referee has the notebook out. Well, Fergal Heaney was the one who was coming across the flight path of the incoming forward, Barry Murphy. Well, we've just received the official attendance. Our guess wasn't too bad. 42,382 are watching this. Jamesy O'Connor to hit the free. and Jamesy inexplicably has put it to the right and wide. But in mitigation, the angle was a little tight. So once again, it's going to be Brendan Cummins to take this puck out, but this is the man who's warming up or being prepared just in case he's required. Ollie Baker, he'd love nothing more than to come in there. This is John Lahey. 1 point in the first half was his tally. Brian O'Mara had a few opportunities. This is his latest. It's got over the bar. Tip lead by 2 points. O'Mara's first point of the match, coming just in the 4th minute of the second half. Davy Fitzgerald. Are the Munster champions feeling the pressure this afternoon? Conor Gleeson inside towards Eddie Enright, fast delivering, good ball. Shelley selflessly running, good work by Shelley, getting there ahead of Brian Lohan, and Shelley's shot is stopped over the bar by Davy Fitzgerald. But Paul Shelley will take the credit. His first point of the afternoon, and Tipperary have made an excellent start to the second half and lead by 10 points to 7. Shelley with the clenched fist to the fans behind the goal, saying, come on, get behind us even more. This was Shelley beating Lohan, and it's gone over. Ollie Baker has just come into the Clare team, and he looks like he's going into the full forward line. He's played there before, and Stephen McNamara, I think, is the one who is making way. Ger Loughnane makes a vital change with nearly 5 minutes gone in the second half. This is delivered in there towards David Ford. Ford still playing on the 40, that switch which was made just before half-time. Pressure here on Frank Lohan, pressure from Liam Cahill. Cahill unable to get that ball up on his stick, however. He does it the second time, and he swung it to the right, but John Lahey's after it. Well, it's down there, of course, where John Lahey just missed the ball in the Munster final in 1997. And they only lost that day by a goal, and of course he had a late chance as well in the All-Ireland final that year, and they lost that so narrowly once again to Clare. Tip will feel they owe Clare something. Clare will feel they've suffered long enough at the hands of Tipperary and other teams in Munster like Cork and like Limerick. Tip get it back. Declan Ryan inside towards Lahey, trying to win the race against Brian Quinn. Sean McMahon trying to lift the tempo of Clare's game, sending it in there. Conal Bunner, hurleys go flying. Back it comes towards Barry Murphy. Murphy setting sail, looking for another point for Clare, one that they would need, but he struck it to the left. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the Clare attack can do for the second half. Barry Murphy wearing 13, playing at top of the left. Ollie Baker full forward. Niall Gilligan is right corner forward. Jamesy O'Connor right half forward. David Ford centre forward, and Alan Markham left half forward. Those are the many changes and switches that Clare have been forced into making. Shelley gets it back towards his team captain, and Tommy Dunn hits this one, and it's just gone inches outside the left-hand post. Not too much in it. Once again, Davy Fitzgerald's puck out. Enda Flannery, one-hander trying to get it on there. Kennedy once more. This is Enda Flannery. His first championship match across to Colin Lynch. Sends it in towards Ollie Baker. They're racing after it. And a good shoulder there. Players bouncing off one another. Back it comes once again here to the man at left corner back, who is Liam Sheedy. Colin Lynch trying to take it up, looking where his immediate opponent was, expecting the hook, and Colin Lynch fires it in, but he's fired it left, and he's fired it wide. Again, Tipperary taking the puck out quickly, trying to catch the Clare backs. John Lahey, was he pulling back his man? It's still Lahey against Brian Quinn. Liam Cahill's in there, but so too Anthony Daly. Out towards Jamesy O'Connor, taken down there. Stalemate situation. Conor Gleeson trying to get the stick to it. The last one to get a hurley on it was Eamon Corcoran. Inside towards Brian O'Mara. O'Mara against Frank Lohan. Here's a goal chance. And it spills out of his stick eventually. And David Fitzgerald loses the cap as he was trying to get that ball away. But he does manage to get his clearance in as far as 65 metres in from his own goal. Colin Lynch against Eddie Enright. Up towards Ollie Baker. It's Baker against Fergal Heaney. Comes out to Niall Gilligan. Gilligan has support over there. There's Jamesy O'Connor. Jamesy O'Connor! Jamesy O'Connor gets the goal for Clare. After 9 minutes of the second half, Gilligan set him up. And this is where Jamesy received possession and buried it to the right of Brendan Cummins, and that's his first ever goal in the championship. Now will that first goal by Jamesy establish a Clare recovery? Under pressure are the Tipperary full back line. Frantic pressure, Ollie Baker against Fergal Heaney. Back it comes once more to Gilligan. Blocked down. Fahy did well initially, comes back towards David Ford and it's put over the bar. That's the second point now for David Ford. But that all-important goal has established a recovery for Clare. So Clare go back in front once again. The lead has now changed hands on 5 occasions, but Tommy Dunn wants an equaliser here, and it got over the bar. Tommy Dunn, 5 points in the match. And I've noticed down below me here that Paul Kelly is being prepared. In fact, not just that, he's already into the action. And Brian O'Mara has been taken off the Tipperary team. So young Paul Kelly, who's a very highly rated player, played his first championship match recently against Kerry. He's a bank man, and indeed in a recent bank match he scored 3-5 out of 3-9, not bad going at all. Now, what will he do here at Páirc Uí Chaoimh this afternoon? He has plenty of time left, 25 minutes. So the match all tied up. Well, it's going to be a free once Anthony Daly is given the nod by the referee. Incidentally, Stephen McNamara, who was taken off the Clare team, is still behind the goal. He's never gone back to the bench. Donnacha Fahy back once again to take his place at right corner back, where he's marking Barry Murphy. Well, not a free, of course, a sideline ball. Daly the taker, stopped there by David Kennedy. Huge one down towards Liam Cahill. Cahill steps away from danger. 2 Clare men after him. Partial block on that by Sean McMahon. Still runs in towards Leahy. Standing back there and standing his ground is Liam Doyle. Broken down by Conor Gleeson. David Ford was anticipating. Good low ball inside towards Barry Murphy. Gets there ahead of Donnacha Fahy, but Fahy manages to get a fortunate break there. It runs loose to him. That's a good clearance. Wonderful effort from players on both teams, all over the field. Players having their little moments of mastery against the immediate opponent. And still very much the issue in doubt here. Clare trying to hold on to their Munster Championship, the title that they won back last year. Liam Cahill here. Cahill going through against Frank Lohan on his left-hand side. He strikes it beautifully. Great hurling by Liam Cahill. And that's 3 points now for the Tipperary corner forward. 12 points for Tip, 1-8 for Clare. So the 3 wise men of Tipperary consider another possible change. We'll just have to see what their thinking is. It may be that Declan Carr is about to be sprung. Paul Kelly has already been introduced at top of the left. That's Conor Bonner over there, trying to get at the end of that pass by Conor Gleeson. David Ford over there to challenge for Clare. And Pat Horn from Offaly, the linesman, quite adamant that it's going to be a sideline ball to the Clare men. This to be taken by Colin Lynch. So Tip by just a solitary point. Lynch striking it. Inside towards Ollie Baker, really hampered by that leg injury. Niall Gilligan had just enough room, and Niall Gilligan has found the range beautifully. Still anybody's match. Gilligan now atop of the right, tying it up, and that's his first point of the game. The team's now level for the 9th time. What a contest. Declan Ryan kicked away in the end by Sean McMahon as far as Enda Flannery. Flannery, the newcomer to Championship hurling, a huge leap in the air by Eamon Corcoran. Goes down there as far as David Ford. Ford hitting this one from a huge distance out and into the arms once again of Brendan Cummins. Well, the coaches will hate that because it gives the chance for Tipperary to counter-attack. Paul Kelly in there chasing. Cahill inevitably, the real danger man from a Clare perspective this afternoon, comes out to Tommy Doyle, and almost balletic-like, he finds enough space to knock it over the bar. His 6th point of the day, and indeed a change has now been made, and coming into the match is Eddie Tucker. Let's go down to Kieran Mullooly.
Eddie will take John Lahey's place on the Tipperary team as Nick English tries to step up the pressure again.
So it's something we don't see very often. John Lahey taken off the Tipperary team. Brian O'Mara's already gone off it. So Tucker is in, Paul Kelly is in. Ferocious contest there on that half-back line. Prodded forward by Daly. Barry Murphy here. Tip with that 1-point lead. Murphy against Donncha Fahy. And it's ended up going to the left. That's 10 wides now by Clare. 6 in the first half, 4 in the second so far. Still about 20 minutes to play. Eddie Tucker looking, but that was a great catch by Sean McMahon. Quick release into the half forwards towards Jamesy O'Connor, Clare's goal scorer. David Kennedy chasing after him, one-handed trying to get the ball away. And Eddie Corcoran was coming in, and Enda Flannery at the receiving end of Eddie Corcoran's anger there, or Eamon Corcoran's anger there. And the referee will restart the play by taking the ball into his hand. Once again, he's going to throw the ball in. He's had to do this about 3 or 4 times in this match, at least 3 or 4 times. David Ford is poised, Eamon Corcoran is poised. Again, no great movement forward. Once again, the referee is going to be called in. Again, Dickie Murphy always keeping a very cool head about him, always appears to be totally in charge. Colin Lynch has picked that ball off the ground. It's going to be a free to Tipperary. They want the ball back as fast as possible, and he's reluctant because he wants to argue with the referee that there was a little hop on that one. But Dickie again has a smile on his face, not one bit influenced by Colin's point of view. The booing is coming from the Clare fans. It'll be David Kennedy to strike this free inside his own 65-metre line. A place in the Munster final at stake. Inside, and beautifully caught again by Liam Doyle. Well, whoever would win this match today would be guaranteed, of course, a place in the All-Ireland series, because both Munster finalists, once again, like the Leinster finalists, will go through to either the quarter-finals or the semi-finals. So there's so much at stake. An entire year's work. Barry Murphy beating Donncha Fahy to it. Still Barry Murphy coming in. His jersey was hauled back and the referee has whistled, and it's going to be a free into Clare, and this is where Clare can go back on level terms once again. James O'Connor comes across, cool as you like, to take this free. Tip got plenty of men back just in case he goes for another goal effort, and he's put it wide. Oh, that was a pretty straightforward chance, and he'll be greatly disappointed by that, and so too the Clare fans and mentors. Groans from the Clare supporters. Brian Lohan, having had a very difficult afternoon, Brian Lohan down there against Paul Shelley's rugged determination. Conor Gleeson, knocking into his own man was Tommy Dunn. Dunn has it. Flannery, not wishing to give him any leeway there. Eddie Tucker, that's Eddie Enright, and this is Anthony Daly, one-handed forward, just enough to get it as far as Alan Markham. A big one in there, and again Brendan Commons, chest tie, takes the shoulder. Hurler come footballer, although his concentration this year is very much on the small ball game. That's Eamon Corcoran running into two Clare men. David Kennedy once again, and not for the first time, getting a good clearance downfield. Kelly was trying to take that ball up. Race over here, Brian Quinn expecting the shoulder, not disappointed either. Declan Ryan against Frank Lohan, still Ryan standing his ground, knocking it in, saved by David Fitzgerald. There was a possible point there for the taking for Declan Ryan, and this is where Davy Fitzgerald once again loses the old cap, but not possession. Clare take it forward. It's Anthony Daly, the Clare Castle man, the captain of this team. Ollie Baker trying to deny Fergal Heaney possession. Fergal, however, getting there first. Once again, it's David Kennedy. He's been so impressive this afternoon. Nicely caught here by Liam Cahill. Still they go forward, and there's a free. Sean McMahon and Brian Lohan remonstrating with the referee. But Tip have a 1-point lead and a chance now of a second. Well, this is what was happening here just a little while ago. That was the shot there by Declan Ryan, and that was the save by David Fitzgerald. But the next piece of action is going to be this free. That's the angle that faces Tommy Dunn. He's 3 from 3, including 65 so far. That's 3 frees taken, 3 frees converted. Now, what will he do with this? He's headed to the left. The pressure must be getting to players like Tommy Dunn, and even to another wonderful player like Jamesy O'Connor, who missed a free a little while ago. So the frees there miss, cancel one another out, and there are 15 minutes left. Some more team news. Let's go down to Kieran.
Brian Lohan now playing in the corner, where his position where Frank was a few moments ago. There's a quick change there in the Clare defence.
Yes, he's on Liam Cahill. Meanwhile, that ball is flung forward there by Barry Murphy, but Clare can't hold possession. Instead, it'll be tipped with the sideline ball. Well, it's a fast and furious contest. Mike McNamara there, Ger Loughnane as well, trying to hatch the plans that might eventually see them get through, but it'll be quite a tight squeeze. Tip have been very game, as everybody expected, very skillful as well, and it's been quite a battle. David Ford, still Ford, an angle ball across here towards Niall Gilligan, one-handed out there by Liam Sheedy, and that was just enough to deflect it out for a sideline ball. It's fast and it's furious. Nicky English. Quick consultation there, and Colin Lynch, I think, being told, or rather telling Ollie Baker, in you go. So Ollie in at full forward, and Colin Lynch to hit this one. An almost impossible angle, happy enough just to get it in towards the goal area, and once again Brendan Commons, beaten once, but he's had a very fine match. Both goalkeepers so impressive. This is Eddie Tucker. Tucker setting away, 45 metres out now. Point chance here for the taking, and he has put it over the bar. It's a great score by Eddie Tucker. A good solo run, but more importantly, he knew when to stop and put it over the bar and make it 14 points to 1-9, or 14 points to 12. David Fitzgerald. Broken down here once again. Tommy Dunn trying to get it away, but once again stopped. It's Alan Markham. And a rather hurried effort by Alan Markham. And Ollie Baker pointing the way there in full forward, saying, come on, hit it away towards the right, be aware of the breeze. But Clare are looking for a break from somewhere. Tip have looked the better, but it's still a tight situation. Only 2 points between them. Once again, the Clare doctor called on to attend. Well, the goal that came after 9 minutes of the second half would seem to have lifted the Clare team. Enda Flannery from Whitegate gets the attention. Conor Gleeson. Inside towards Tucker. Tucker on the 40, causing problems there for Sean McMahon. In towards the man who was on the 40, who was Declan Ryan, and Ryan raises a huge cheer. And a white flag with his first point of the match. Tip are looking like they're about to end Clare's reign as Munster champions, but still plenty of time to go. This match could turn around in 30 seconds. Tommy Dunn misses it. Down he goes on the ground rather hard. Colin Bonner gets it back. David Kennedy once again. Well, whether or which, I think Nicky English will be very pleased with the performance of his young charges. Still Clare. Still Brian Lohan. Now at left corner back. Beating Tommy Dunn's block. Good ball in towards Baker. Heaney struggling. Brendan Cummins once again. He's played really well behind his full back line, aware that he had a number of players playing just in front of him who were inexperienced at this level. It's Barry Murphy, and he misses it. Still persisting. They try to get it away there. Conor Gleeson is calling for the fact that the ball was picked off the ground, or that the ball might indeed end up being hopped by the referee or thrown in by the referee. Not much hopping of a ball on this particular surface. Brendan Cummins is down injured, just behind the action there. Well, the referee, is he about to throw the ball in? They're trying to, yes, they're bringing it to his attention there. Liam Sheedy was in quickly there to say, look, hang on, our goalkeeper is going to need a bit of attention by the physio. Well, he's had a very good match, Brendan Cummins. Only beaten once. This is where Niall Gilligan set up a goal chance. Coming over in support was Jamesy O'Connor, and that his very first goal in championship hurling. And today, Jamesy playing his 22nd championship match. But is it going to be enough? Let's go down to the sideline once again to Kieran.
Nicholas English has asked George Friend from Toomevara Club to warm up. He could be coming into the game shortly.
This is Ollie Baker. Clearly hampered by injury. David Kennedy lets it drop down. They managed to get it away in the end, however, to Fergal Heaney's intervention. Liam Doyle coming up onto it. He's 40 metres out from the Tipperary goal. David forward trying to get in there. 3 Tipperary men alongside him. Still managed to get some much room, and he puts it over the bar. 3 points now for David Ford, and still really anybody's match. 15 points to 110. And Clare have made a change. And the player coming in there is Conor Clancy. Clancy has just come into the action. Alan Markham is the one who's made way, by the way.
Number 19, Conor Clancy.
So Conor Clancy has come in, and he's gone straight into full forward. Ollie Baker has gone back out around midfield. Meanwhile, Brian Quinn tries to get that ball away. Eddie Enright tries to get it in. Instead, it's picked up there by Kelly, and Paul Kelly has put it over the bar. Paul Kelly's first point since coming on as a second-half substitute. So following on that Clare point, there's an instant response, and Tipperary once again have a lead of 3 points. Oh, it's going to be a tense last 8-9 minutes of this match. Enda Flannery. Clare won't give up in a hurry. Towards Niall Gilligan. Going for the score himself, and he's got another one. Gilligan's second point. 16 points to 111. That's 16-14. A look on the watch, some 27, 28 now nearly minutes gone on the second half. 7 remaining. What chance of draw here? There would be a replay next Saturday, and again it would be at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Tip have looked good. Clare are not going to give up. Tommy Dunn down there towards Shelley. Shelley against Frank Lowen. In comes Cahill, and he's put it wide. Tip have had some pretty good chances throughout this match to have increased their lead, and they haven't been able to take them. Cahill with 3 points in the match. Davy Fitzgerald's puck out, right down the centre. David Kennedy against David Ford. The Clare man wins that. Back it comes, however, here. Stopped here by Conor Bonner towards Declan Ryan. Quinn just got enough on that outside towards Anthony Daly, who says, go on, take it yourself, and lash it back into the forwards. This time it's in there towards Clancy. Can he get his first point since coming in here? He can! Conor Clancy's first point, and Clare edge ever so much closer. 16 to 112, only a point in it. 6 minutes remain. What a thriller once again from Porky Queeve for the second week in a row. And here's Ollie Baker for the Munster champions, Colin Lynch. Ahead of him is David Ford. This is where they try to draw level. Enda Flannery's ahead, but Ford won't need assistance if he can get enough latitude. Bottled up there well by Kennedy. Corcoran's there as well, and Tip won it back, and it's David Kennedy who gets it away downfield, down towards Paul Shelley, taking up position there at right half forward. Liam Doyle partly blocked down there by Paul Kelly. Comes back towards, once again, Liam Cahill. Cahill needed a bit more space. It's Frank Lowen instead. Great challenge there with Conor Gleeson. What a titanic struggle. Tommy Dunn from way out the field. It's gone wide. And Paul Shelley was down in front of goal saying to him, why didn't you give it to me? I had a goal chance. You just had to find me. David Kennedy's down, injured. And straight away the medical people are in to attend to him. Well, it's a match which once again has shown us the greatness of this fabulous sport. When two teams go in fearlessly, showing courage, showing determination and skill, training all year long for absolutely no reward in a monetary sense. Colin Lynch, that is going towards the left. The keeper comes out, and once again Brendan Cummins with a very fine save. Out to Eamon Corcoran. Corcoran hurling it down inside there to the inside line. Shelley gets away from his man. It's Paul Shelley winning the race against Frank Lowen. Can he get a goal here? Oh, it's a great save, and it's gone out for a 65. Paul Shelley did everything, but David Fitzgerald was equal to it. This was the moment when Tipperary probably felt, we're going to win this match, but that was a fantastic piece of goalkeeping by Fitzgerald. A second half that's had everything. Great scores, misses, saves. Everybody giving the last ounce of energy for the cause. Tommy Dunn about to take the free. The 65-metre free. His side ahead by a point. About 3.5 minutes still to go. Is it on target? It is. He's got 7 points, and Tip lead the champions. Tip beaten twice in the championship 2 years ago, lead by 17 points to 112. But those two defeats against Clare surely rankled. Now their best chance of atoning for that and getting themselves through to a Munster final against either Cork or Waterford. Again, a ferocious battle in midfield, picked up by Eddie Tucker. Chasing after him, forlornly there was Ollie Baker. It's Shelley again. Missed a goal chance because of a super save, but he's got a point. His second of the day. Is it to be Tipperary's afternoon in the sunshine of Cork? Flags in the air, hats in the air, as it's 18 points to 112, 18 points to 15. About 2 minutes and a little bit still to play. A Clare goal, however, or even a Clare score, would suddenly lift them again. Enda Flannery, they're all in after it. It comes out from the goalkeeper, and the referee has whistled. It's not going to count anymore, lads. They can afford to calm down. It's going to be a free out. Barry Murphy there, and Liam Sheedy, the player, on the ground. Barry Murphy saying to him, up you get, come on, there's only a few seconds left in this match. Well, there's going to be a little bit of attention required. Wow, every so often you need to draw breath in this 100 miles an hour game. But the champions are in difficulty, behind by 3 points. Just over a minute left. Surely it'll have to take a Clare goal now to rescue this match. All the way through it runs towards Brian Lohan. Anthony Daly, captain for the last 8 seasons, 8 wonderful years for Clare. Gilligan with a late chance, inside towards Clancy. Can he go by Heaney? It's Clancy, it's still Clancy, and he's pulled and dragged, and it's a penalty for Clare. This could be the moment when they save their crown and stay in the championship of 1999. Oh, what glory and tension we've seen. The tip backs exhorting those who'll be on the line to do their very, very best. It'll be goalkeeper Brendan Cummins. Sheedy is there as well, as George Friend has just come in. And who's going to take the penalty? Do you remember the Munster final a couple of years ago, 1995? Davy Fitzgerald has come all the way up the field. Fergal Heaney on the goal line, Brendan Cummins on the goal line, Liam Sheedy. We're in injury time. If this goes in, I think it's going to be a replay. David Fitzgerald aware of what he has to do. Bit of gamesmanship as they try to unsettle him. Conor Bonner being told back you go, and everybody else told outside the exclusion zone. This is the moment. Clare must get a goal here. David Fitzgerald has scored! He's racing back in the 71st minute. How much time is left? It's all over. Tip thought they had done enough, but they couldn't prevent that penalty goal by David Fitzgerald. The teams were level 10 times in a wonderful contest, and David Fitzgerald has saved Clare's title. They live to fight another day. David Kennedy is absolutely crestfallen. In fairness, in terms of scoring chances, there was nothing between them. 36 scoring chances for Clare, 35 scoring chances for Tipperary. But that penalty award after the substitute Conor Clancy was hauled down resulted in a conversion by David Fitzgerald, and it all ends level. Clare 2-12, Tipperary 18 points. And